Within the next 3 minutes, 120 people in the world might suffer a stroke, out of which 30 will not make it. 85% of stroke conditions occur because of a blocked artery in the brain. This disrupts blood flow and leads to the irreversible death of neurons in a very short time. In fact, the time that the doctors give to save a stroke patient from severe lifelong disability is 3 hours. Yes, just 3 hours. Now, what if I told you that there's something in your brain that can protect you from the devastating effects of stroke? In fact, it can also help in repair and regeneration. Microglia, the first line of defense in the brain. Microglial cells are specialized immune cells that constantly interact with neurons. They help strengthen neuronal connections while trimming down weaker ones. In fact, microglia are constantly scavenging the environment in the brain looking for any disturbance, and if they do find one, they can migrate to the site of injury and secrete all sorts of molecular weapons to kill the invader. But again, they can come back and clear all the debris and help in tissue regeneration there. Microglia is a superhero, more like the Hulk. But in some cases, Hulk doesn't understand his own strength. A similar thing happens in stroke conditions where microglia gets so aggravated that the molecular weapons it can secrete destroys everything in its path, including healthy neurons. This is where my research comes in. My research focuses on finding a way to regulate microglial activation in such a way that we can lessen the harm it does to stroke patients. The most important aspect here is to find a critical checkpoint that regulates microglial activation. And we have indeed found such a checkpoint. You see, genetic information in the cell is stored in the form of DNA. And DNA wraps around other proteins called histones so that all the DNA can be packaged into the small volume of the cell. Now, this packaging has tightly wound regions and also regions where DNA is loosely wound. And the loosely wound can be easily read by the cell. My checkpoint modulates the amount of genetic information that microglia can read from these loose regions. Thus, this helps me in changing microglial behavior. Now, I have actually found some commercially available drugs which help me do this. In fact, some of these drugs are also FDA approved for treating other diseases. Regulating microglial activation through such an approach opens up a vast variety of therapeutic interventions for the treatment of stroke. Microglial activation is such an important stage in stroke pathology, and a timely intervention by us can make all the difference in saving someone's life.